What is the actual issue with modern shoes that people don't even think about?
I like to focus on four main ones. So the biggest problem, according to me, is the shape of the toe box. The toe box is where your toes are. So if you look at the perfect anatomy of a foot, and if you look at one for a newborn baby, for example, their foot is actually the widest at the toes. And this is something that we don't really see any shoes are shaped after. And instead, when you go buy like a shoe that says that it is wide, it'll be wide, but it'll be wide at the middle part of the foot. And then the toe box will still be pointy. So placing your big toe and your fifth toe out of position, like towards each other. And that's not really how the foot is supposed to look. It's not how the foot is supposed to move. And the thing is, like when you do put the big toe out of position, you will actually have a lot of consequences up in the chain of the body. So you can actually try this if you're listening to this and you stand up and you put your toe in a correct position, which would be a straight line from the metatarsal, the bone, and then you actually just with your finger put the toe towards the other toe, like a lot. You will see that the arch starts to collapse. And what happens when the arch collapses? The knee starts caving in, right? And then that will have consequences up to the hip and the lower back. So just that one thing of having a pointy toe box will actually might give you lower back pain 2 years later or 3 years later. And you're like, oh, why do I have a lower back pain now? So that's one aspect of why shoes are problematic. And then we have the sole stiffness. A lot of soles are very stiff. And this is honestly, I still have a hard time understanding why people do this, but they're so not bendy, which means that your toes cannot bend like they're supposed to. And that's horrible for the walking gait cycle. So you're literally putting your toes to sleep when you're walking, which is not good. And then we have the drop, so meaning that your heel is higher than the forefoot. And what happens there is that you're literally standing downhill, right? Putting a lot of pressure on the forefoot. And what happens if you're standing downhill, it's quite obvious that the body has to compensate and the body will have to make itself straight again, meaning that you'll have start several compensations in the body to make up for that structural problem at the feet. And what they also do when they put that heel to toe drop is they'll put something that we call a toe spring in the footwear industry, where you probably see this in shoes, but that they angled upwards again at the toes. And this is because they want to give you this sensation that you're rolling forward, that you're like walking on clouds, right? But what happens then is that you're actually stretching the fascia under the foot, which means that it's in a complete stretch position all day, or for as long as you're wearing the shoes, meaning that puts a lot of pressure again, and your foot will never be able to relax. So you can sometimes see that when people take their shoes off and their foot is still in that position, and it's okay, yeah, you've been wearing these kinds of shoes for many years. But yeah, those are really the main issues